somebody asked me to rank the presidents of my lifetime. Tell me who the best and who the worst was. Now, I was born at the tail end of the Nixon administration. So I've been alive for Richard Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Poppy Bush, Clinton, W, Obama, Trump, Biden, and now Trump again. And so I ranked those presidents as I saw fit, and I put Nixon number one. And this person said, Nixon won. We need an explanation video. I've done a number of videos about Richard Nixon and why I think he was a phenomenal president. And I'll do another one, since obviously you might not have seen those videos. Excuse me. Sometimes I get the itches. I have psoriasis. Anyway, before I get into this, let me say that I'm not saying that Richard Nixon was a good person. I'm not saying that Richard Nixon was some phenomenal guy. He had a lot of faults to him. And when they look at Richard Nixon in the history books 200 years from now, the first thing that they should read about is Watergate. But that doesn't mean that he didn't have a lot of really great accomplishments. I'm going to show you a list of Richard Nixon's accomplishments. Keep in mind two things. Number one, when you read this list, it's going to read like a liberal's wet dream, but he was a conservative Republican who did all of these things. And number two, he did all of these things essentially in one term. He had one term, and then he won a resounding re-election where I think he only lost one state in the entire country, but then had to resign very early in his second administration. So the things that I'm going to rattle off to you are predominantly done within just one term in office. Nixon ended the draft and put us onto an all-volunteer military. Ended the military draft, Richard Nixon. Nixon founded the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, as a response to rising concern over conservation and pollution. Clean Air and Water, the EPA. That's Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon, in one term, appointed 4 Supreme Court justices: Berger, Blackmun, Powell, and Rehnquist. Nixon dedicated the first $100 million to begin the war on cancer, an amount at that point in time which was a staggering amount of money, $100 million. Nixon opened the door to women in collegiate sports, signing Title IX. Women in college sports, that's Nixon. That's just the first page I'm showing you here. Ended the draft, founded the EPA, appointed 4 Supreme Court justices, dedicated the first $100 million to cancer research, and signed Title IX. We push on. Nixon also initiated and oversaw the peaceful desegregation of Southern schools, lowered the voting age from 21 to 18, authorized the joint work between the FBI and the Special Task Force to effectively eliminate organized crime, became the first president to give Native Americans the right to tribal self-determination, participated in the SALT treaties, the Strategic Arms Limitation treaties, anti-ballistic missile treaties, first president to visit and recognize China as a nation, signed the Paris Peace Accords. He avoided a second Cuban Missile Crisis. In reaction to the 1973 oil embargo, he initiated Project Independence, which set a timetable to end reliance on foreign oil by 1980. And on top of all of that, he founded OSHA, Safe Workplace Environments. Just think about that list of accomplishments in essentially 4 years. Yeah, I think Nixon is number one in my lifetime. He got more shit done than anybody else.